Hi, citizens of Sanger. This is Anahi Jaramillo. Today I got to interview the Ratzlaff family where we talked about the adjustment from learning in school to learning at home and the different difficulties that they've been facing and just adjusting overall to learning away from their teachers and away from their classmates.
I'm Randra Ratzlaff. I have 4 kids in Singer Unified, one at the high school, that's Lorelei, one at WAMS, Madison, and I have 2 at Madison Elementary, Harrison, and Gideon. And they range from 10th grade to 3rd grade.
Awesome, thank you. So, how has the switch from learning to school to home been like for your guys' family?
Um, Slightly chaotic the first couple weeks. I feel like we've got like the hang of it now a little more, which is good. Every week has new challenges and some parts are like they're getting the flow of it. But I know like with just the teachers trying to figure out like Zoom and different types of video chatting and how to turn in work, how to pick up packets, stuff like that. I know everybody's trying to like get the flow of what works. So this week was the older girls, it's easier. I feel like the teachers already had a lot of stuff online. So I know elementary, the teachers are doing a lot of different types of work and stuff like that. So that's been a little more challenging just for our family.
Definitely. So, what are some things that you guys have added to your daily routine to help the kids stay on track with their schooling?
Well, we have our own everyday calendar now, like our own schedule for everybody to keep. So they have to get up and they have to have a breakfast done by a certain time, start their schoolwork, and they all have lunch together. And then they have like their afternoon reading time. And then we all try to finish up about the same time, which that's kind of been one thing that's a struggle because not everybody finishes around the same time, but to give everybody like at least a break. And then if some need to go back, they can go back and finish. But just to kind of keep everybody flowing the same thing throughout the day.
Awesome, definitely. So, what has been the biggest obstacle for you guys that you faced, like in quarantine, whether it be with school or just everyone being at home all at once?
The distractions for sure. Everything's a distraction. The dogs are distraction. The refrigerator's a distraction. The outside, it's a beautiful day. The neighbors are outside, or everything's a distraction. And I don't blame them. I mean, I'm the same way. So
Awesome. So, what are some new things that you guys have learned about, like your kids, like learning at school, or you guys just all being home at once? What are some things that you guys have learned?
well, one thing that's kind of funny I'd done with my girls when they were younger is we have this huge map of the United States. So it's kind of funny that we've all been doing this thing of who can remember all the states and the capitals and everything. So it's kind of been like a funny thing all the way 3rd grade through my 10th grader and me and my husband, including on as a family. So it's this big thing up on the wall and we have a small puzzle of it. And so my son one day wanted computer time during the week, which we don't give them a lot of extra computer time. So I told him if you could put together the map by yourself, everybody gets computer time. And they were all cheering him on. And so just finding new ways of keeping them entertained and getting along and and encouraging each other, stuff like that. So it's really been just learning different things. We put out like a game table and we have like our chess and checkerboard and just Legos out. So throughout the day, just to have their hands busy doing things. And that is of like all ages to be able to do. So that's been good.
No, yeah. So I know I don't know if you like let them be on technology a lot. Like besides that, what are some other things that you try to push them to do so that they're not always on like their phones or like on their watching TV? So what
Right.
are some things that you guys do?
We started working on projects around the house and they've been doing a lot with. So we like sanded down and repainted our front porch. My husband has a small trailer and they took it all apart and sanded the metal and I don't know if sanding it, whatever you call it, but like took it all the way down and then like spray painted it, learned how to like, spray paint correctly and put the wheels back on. A lot of my kids are in robotics or have been in robotics. And so just like putting the axles back together, putting the tires on, how do you change lug nuts? My daughter, my oldest, is getting ready to turn 16 and get her license. So learning how to change things on a car. She has a motorcycle because she went and once the DV starts, she'll have her motorcycle license, but she, changing the lights on it, changing the oil on it, getting gas in it, all those types of things. Trying
Definitely,
to like
yeah.
incorporate life skills that necessarily they can't learn at school because they don't have that type of stuff, but just things here. We got out like the keyboard and my husband's been working with them on like music and just letting them play with it. My oldest has a guitar and just kind of playing around, doing chores around the house. So.
No, yeah, definitely. Awesome. That's good that they're doing other things rather than just like staying on their phones or watching TV. That's really cool.
Lots of puzzles. We're a puzzle family, and we have a couple friends. We've been doing like a puzzle sharing. We like leave them on the front porch, and we rotate them around because we've all done our puzzles. So
yeah, that's awesome. So what adjustments were difficult at first?
The main thing is, I think initially just the packet of paperwork, especially for the younger ones, and I go even the older ones too. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to all of a sudden just have a ton of work and understanding how to break it down per day, what is due, what isn't due. My older two kind of self-regulate theirs more, but there's some days it's been hard. One of the challenges with the older ones is with the Zoom and Google Hangouts, the timing of two teachers wanting calls to overlap or at the same time, and you're like, and they're like, you have to be there, but wait a second, I can't be on both at the same time. And the teachers have been really understanding, but it's just the initial panic of how am I supposed to be on both of these, and or if they overlap and stuff, and telling a teacher I have to go, I have to do my next call. And so that can be a little stressful throughout the day for the older ones.
No, yeah. Have you seen an impact on the kids and their learning while they've been at home with all of this workload?
A lot of mine say it's a lot of easy work. They're not really learning anything new, but I know it's hard to teach these concepts or new concepts. I know a lot of the teachers are working on how to do that, because for some of the kids I know that struggle, we're really lucky that we have internet, we have laptops, they have their iPads here, that my kids have accessibility to those things in the calls. So I know the teachers are trying to find what's the correct way to be able to teach the whole class, and I definitely can understand that. So right now I know it's a lot of review work, which I still think is good. So it's still keeping them on it, and stuff that isn't, some of the teachers just have recommended assignments I've been really encouraging my kids to do anyways, just to keep them sharp or looking at it from a different angle kind of thing, but still completing it.
No, yeah. So last question, how do you continue to plan to keep your kids on track for the rest of the school year?
Besides coffee?
I mean, that's always something.
No, well, the teachers have been doing really good with handing out assignments and answering questions and stuff like that. So that's been helpful. And I go just really trying to keep some sort of schedule for them, I think is really important. So that they have a certain time of day, they have expectations, and they know. And then I let them like kind of self-regulate a little bit in that. Here's your expectation. Is your math done? Is your English done? Do you need help? How can we help you? If I go to work a couple hours a day, having the older ones help the younger ones. And there's some days it works really good. There's other days it's a struggle. And but I think having the expectation of they're struggling too, and realizing that it's stressful and they miss their friends, they miss their teachers. And some assignments seem real simple, or it is a review, but sometimes it's just not quite clicking, and having them not get the frustration and just ask your teacher and wait for them to respond, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's not really much else that they can do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lorelei. I'm 15 and I go to Singer High School. Hi, my name is Madison Ratzlaff. I'm 14 and I go to Washington Academic Middle School.
Awesome. So what's it like learning from home now rather than learning at school?
It's a bit different. It can be a little distracting sometimes. Yeah, it is different. Just where we are and stuff. Doing work at home versus at school, it's kind of different, but yeah.
What are some things that you guys have helped you to make sure you're not as distracted and you're like on track with your homework?
You just gotta kind of self-regulate, and we sometimes do our homework in our rooms, which is kind of where we get the least distraction. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. We get to just being by yourself and just make sure you just get it done, and like maybe turning your phone off or something so you have no distractions.
Yeah, definitely. So how is it different from learning in a classroom where you have the teacher teaching you, or where you can like ask for help from your classmates? Like, how is that different?
I usually just go to her if I need help. Yeah. Usually in classrooms you kind of have a learning vibe, and you're like, okay, I'm in class, I got to get this done. Whereas at home you're used to kind of relaxing, so you got to bring the classroom vibes into your house.
Yeah, that's a good one, definitely. So what's the hardest thing you guys have faced so far adjusting to this like learning at home thing?
When we sometimes are learning a new concept, it can sometimes be difficult to get a hold of since you can't exactly ask the teacher. So, and there's also, sometimes like if assignments like don't pop up or they're not working or the network's being slow or something like that, it does get stressful sometimes because you're like, well, I can't do the assignment then. But usually you can always reaching out to the teachers using Remind app. That's a good way to like communicate with them, and so you guys can fix it or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, so what are some different apps or programs that you guys use to be able to stay connected with your teachers and also complete your homework?
We use Remind to like message the teachers, Google Classroom, Google Docs, Zoom, and the Google Hangouts. Yeah. Google Meet, Google Hangouts. Yeah.
Awesome. So which one do you guys think is more useful when it comes to connecting with your guys' teachers?
I think Google Meet. I think I think Google Classroom, because you can still communicate with the teachers and your class, but also get your assignments.
Awesome. So, what do you guys miss most about school? There's probably a lot.
Being around other people and just, I love my family. But yeah, like hanging out with your friends, those people you'd see every day, and like I used to do robotics after school, so I'm used to working or like going to school and then working all the way until sometimes 5. Sometimes I don't get home until like 9. So, yeah. Also, the other activities like after school stuff, clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's different than rather just coming and staying home, like waking up, staying at home, doing your schoolwork rather than going to school and then coming back at like 6 p.m. after all your works. Yeah, it's definitely different. So lastly, what are some things you guys want to do right when you can finally go back to school?
Go and say hi to all my friends and teachers.
Definitely. What kind of sports or like activities are you guys looking forward to doing when you go back?
I can't wait to get back into doing robotics, and it was really fun. I want to get into volleyball. Oh yeah, I'm going to the high school next year, so I really want to try out for volleyball and do that.
Awesome. So right when you get back to school, you get to get that whole new high school experience.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And also drawing activities, like art and stuff like that.
No, yeah, definitely. Awesome. Thank you guys. That'll be all for you two.
Hi, my name's Harrison. I'm in 5th grade and I'm 11 years old.
Hi, I'm Gideon and I'm in 3rd grade and I'm 9 years old.
Awesome. So what's it like learning from home now that you're not in school?
Well, it's different because I can't just raise my hand and then the teacher will come and pick up my work. We actually still haven't figured out how to turn in my work yet. It worked from 2 weeks ago. We still haven't turned in because we couldn't find out how to do it. And also, it's hard because at school it's you can pay attention easier, I guess, or like you can ask people for help around you.
No, yeah, definitely. Awesome. So what about you? What's it like learning from home now rather than being in school?
You're not around your friends and that's it.
That's it? Is it harder for you guys learning at home rather than your teacher teaching you guys?
Yeah, it is harder for me.
Yeah, definitely. So how is it different? Like I know you were saying how you don't get to raise your hand or ask your classmates for help. How else is it different not being able to be in a classroom and learn?
Another thing is if there's new things to learn, you kind of have to teach. For me, we haven't my teacher hasn't gotten any hasn't done any Zoom calls or anything, and so I don't. So if we start learning something new and he doesn't do a Zoom call, he can't really teach us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's hard to learn something on your own, especially at your guys' age. Yeah. What about you? What's something hard that is kind of hard not being in the classroom anymore? Is it also like learning new things? Yeah. What are some new things that you've learned that was hard for you to learn?
Time.
Time? Being able to tell time, that was the hardest? Yeah, it's hard not being able to have your teacher, huh? Yeah. So, what's the hardest thing you guys have had to face? So, I know your mom and your sisters were saying the distractions around the house. Can you guys explain that?
Well, could we turn around that so that we could show her?
No,
Okay. Well, we recently got an arcade cabinet with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games on it, and we also got a giant Lego table with a bunch of Avengers Legos, and we got a chessboard over there, and there's lots of stuff in our room to get distracted with.
Yeah, definitely. So, what are some new things that you guys have done while you guys have been stuck at home? So, like, any new movies you watched, any new skills you've learned?
We got a pool, and we're going back to playing in the pool, kind of
Awesome.
learning to swim faster again.
That's good. And you get that sun, you're outside, you're not inside all the time. Definitely. So, what do you guys both miss most about school?
I miss my friends.
Yeah, I miss seeing my friends 5 days a week, and I miss just not being able to go to school and just talk to them.
Yeah, definitely. So, lastly, what's something you guys want to do right when you get back to school? Whether it's like hug your teachers or your friends, or what is something you guys want to do right when you get back to school?
Yeah, continue robotics if that's even gonna continue. Try to get back into the Millionaires Club in our school if if they reset it and we're not able to do it if we earned it last year, and give everybody a hug. And I'll go into a bunch of people and like fake cough.
just to mess around with them. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.